Before we get into today's case, take a moment to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss our latest uploads. If mysterious deaths and unexplained events intrigue you, then you're in the right place. What you're about to hear might seem like a tragic accident, the story of an elderly couple found dead in their home. But I assure you, there's more to it than meets the eye. The deaths of legendary actor Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy Arakawa, are filled with too many unanswered questions and inconsistencies to be brushed off as a mere accident. The stakes are high. Uncovering the truth behind their deaths could expose deeper issues and even help prevent similar tragedies in the future. On February 26, 2025, Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy Arakawa, were found dead in their home in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Hackman, a legendary actor known for his iconic roles in The French Connection and Unforgiven, had left Hollywood nearly 2 decades earlier to enjoy a quiet life with Arakawa, a 65-year-old classical pianist. The discovery was made by a maintenance worker conducting a routine check when he noticed the front door wide open. After knocking and receiving no response, he stepped inside and found Hackman's body in the foyer and Arakawa's in the bathroom. Both showed signs of advanced decomposition, suggesting they had been dead for several days. Oddly, one of their dogs was discovered lifeless inside a closet near Arakawa, while the other 2 were found alive in different parts of the house. Initial observations found no signs of forced entry, no visible external injuries, and no indication of theft. At first glance, it seemed like a tragic case of an elderly couple passing away in their home. However, as investigators soon uncovered, nothing about this case was as straightforward as it appeared. As the investigation progressed, several unusual details began to emerge. Near Arakawa's body, investigators discovered prescription medications scattered across the bathroom floor, including those for blood pressure and thyroid conditions, suggesting a possible medical emergency or even an overdose. However, carbon monoxide poisoning was quickly ruled out after tests confirmed there were no gas leaks or elevated levels in the home. A major breakthrough came when medical examiners analyzed data from Hackman's pacemaker, revealing that his heart had stopped on February 17, 2025, about 9 days before their bodies were found. This critical detail helped narrow the timeline of their deaths and raised an important question. If Hackman died on February 17th, when exactly did Arakawa pass away? Adding to the mystery was the maintenance worker's 911 call. At first, he reported finding only one deceased person inside the home. However, later in the same call, he corrected himself, stating that 2 people were dead. Was this just a moment of confusion caused by shock, or was there something more to his story? As news of their deaths spread, questions arose about the couple's final days. Neighbors and family members reported that no one had seen or spoken to them for nearly 2 weeks before their bodies were found. While their tendency to keep to themselves made this absence seem somewhat normal, it still raised an important question. Why had no one checked on them sooner? The positioning of the bodies offered potential clues. Hackman was found in the foyer, suggesting he may have collapsed suddenly, while Arakawa's presence in the bathroom, surrounded by medications, hinted that she might have been trying to retrieve medicine during a medical emergency. However, one detail continued to puzzle investigators: the fate of their dogs. One dog was found dead inside a closet near Arakawa, almost as if it had hidden there, while the other 2 were discovered in different parts of the house, dehydrated but alive. What could have caused one dog to die while the others managed to survive? Several theories began to take shape regarding the couple's deaths. Medical experts assisting in the investigation suggested that Hackman likely suffered a severe cardiac event on February 17th, as indicated by his pacemaker data. This would explain why he was found collapsed in the foyer. According to this theory, Arakawa may have heard her husband fall and rushed to his side. Realizing he was unresponsive, she likely hurried to the bathroom to retrieve his medications. While there, she may have suffered a medical emergency of her own, perhaps a heart attack brought on by stress or an existing health condition. The scattered medications near her body support this idea, suggesting she may have been desperately searching for something to help either herself or her husband when she collapsed. However, this theory doesn't account for all the strange details in the case, most notably the dead dog found in the closet. Some investigators speculated that the dog may have already been sick and instinctively sought out a quiet place to hide. But others considered a more unsettling possibility. Could the dog have ingested something toxic that also contributed to the couple's deaths? Despite extensive testing, no environmental toxins were detected in the home, leaving this question unanswered. The maintenance worker's 911 call remains a point of debate. His initial statement, reporting only one deceased person before later correcting himself to two, could simply be a reaction to the shock of such a grim discovery. However, some have questioned whether there was more to his confusion. Investigators conducted a thorough background check on the worker and found no suspicious ties. His employment history was clean, and he had been working at the property for several years without incident. Despite this, his call remains one of the more puzzling elements of the case. Another factor fueling speculation is the unusually long period during which the couple had no contact with the outside world. While they were known for valuing their privacy, going nearly 2 weeks without any communication struck many who knew them as out of character. Friends interviewed during the investigation noted that, despite their reclusive nature, the couple typically kept in touch with a small, trusted circle. This raised further questions. Why had all contact suddenly stopped? And why had no one checked on them sooner? As investigators delved deeper, they examined the couple's medical histories. Hackman, at 95, had a pacemaker and a history of heart issues. Arakawa, though significantly younger at 65, managed her own health concerns, including blood pressure and thyroid conditions. The autopsy reports offered some answers but also introduced new uncertainties. Hackman's cause of death was officially listed as cardiac arrest, aligning with his pacemaker data. However, Arakawa's autopsy was less conclusive. While the medical examiner found signs of heart disease, they couldn't determine whether she had died of natural causes or if the stress of trying to help her husband had played a role. Additionally, the report noted possible evidence of a fall, adding yet another layer of mystery to the case. The autopsy of the deceased dog confirmed that it had died from dehydration, indicating it had been trapped in the closet for several days without water. This suggested its death was a tragic consequence of the situation, rather than the result of poisoning or foul play. The deaths of Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa shocked both Hollywood and Santa Fe. Though retired since 2004, Hackman remained a beloved icon, with Oscar-winning performances in The French Connection and Unforgiven securing his legacy. Arakawa, a talented classical pianist, was less publicly known but highly respected. Together since the early 1980s and married in 1991, they built a life away from the spotlight in Santa Fe. Their enduring love, despite a 30-year age gap, was well known among friends. This deep devotion adds weight to the theory that Arakawa may have died trying to save her husband. Despite a thorough investigation, questions about their deaths persist. One theory suggests a delayed fatal incident. Hackman may have fallen and injured himself on February 17th, leaving Arakawa unable to lift him or seek help due to their remote location and her own health issues. She may have struggled for days to care for him before succumbing to exhaustion or a medical event. This would explain the time gap between their deaths and why one dog was trapped in a closet, possibly shut in during the chaos of the emergency. However, this theory doesn't explain why Arakawa didn't call for help. The investigation confirmed that the home's phone lines were working, and both had cell phones with battery power remaining. This remains one of the most puzzling aspects of the case. Why didn't Arakawa reach out? Some believe she may have been disoriented from a fall or stress. Others consider a more unsettling possibility. Was there an intruder? While the lack of forced entry or struggle makes this unlikely, investigators haven't ruled anything out entirely. The investigation into Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa's deaths remains open. While many see it as a tragic chain of natural events, others believe too many unanswered questions remain. Their isolation, lack of communication, the puzzling 911 call, the death of one dog while others survived, and the time gap between their deaths all add to the mystery. For now, their deaths are classified as undetermined, not clearly an accident, yet not suspicious enough to be labeled as homicides. This uncertainty alone highlights the unusual nature of the case. What we do know is that a couple who spent over 4 decades together likely faced their final moments in distress, separated by circumstance but bound by a lifetime of love. Whether Hackman passed suddenly and Arakawa struggled alone, or whether something more sinister was at play, the outcome remains the same: the loss of two remarkable individuals. If you've made it this far, you clearly have a passion for mysterious cases. Don't keep this channel to yourself. Share this video with someone who loves a good mystery, and be sure to subscribe to join our growing community of truth seekers. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a new investigation. Have a theory about what happened to Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa? Drop it in the comments. Some of the best insights come from viewers like you. Until next time, stay curious, stay vigilant, and remember, the truth is often stranger than fiction.